Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to do a little bit of a change of pace, if you will. We're going to take the car and drive it around on the street. And what I mean by driving around on the street, we're going to go to Mexico and we're going to make a couple of light hits. And I want to see if I can get this methanol theory tested and maybe put to rest or go further down the rabbit hole. I don't know which it's going to be. Actually, I kind of do, but we're going to let the data logs speak for themselves, if you will. So the first test, what I think I'm going to do is probably going to put the boost controller where it was before at the track. So in what that's going to tell me is it's going to rule out those conditions. And then I'm going to see if I can make it backfire like that, which it's going to, I'm pretty sure. Now on the street, it's just going to spin the tires. The next thing I'm going to do is unplug 3 of the methanol injectors. Now what that is going to do is give me a little bit of a better idea if there's too much methanol going into the engine, period. I think that it's not atomizing correctly, and there's probably liquid methanol getting into the chambers and it's fouling plugs temporarily. So once that either works or doesn't work, we're going to change the methanol table, the table that controls the methanol injection, which in my case is more or less for staged injection. So on paper, using charts from a few different methanol injection sites, I only need about 300 pounds per hour of methanol. And right now, this thing on full tilt can see up to 840 pounds per hour. So it's overkill. The numbers, I believe, work out to about 35% of what I have. So I only need about 35% of what's available. And it's seeing, the way it's set up now, it's seeing about 40% long before the engine even gets wound up into power. So that's what makes me think the methanol is a problem. So without further ado, let us get started on the drive on the street. Alright, so we're just going to go for a quick spin around the block. This is with no changes at all from race day. And I guess more than anything, I just want to make sure that it backfires. Weird as that is. Okay, so it's just going to blow the tires away. I'm going to roll into it gradually and see what it does. Got data logging going, no changes. So that's probably not going to work. Okay, so I'm here to tell you that is absolutely worthless with the boost controller turned on. Can't stay in it long enough for it to do any good. So the next thing I'm gonna do is disconnect the air line and make sure there's no air to the top of the. Okay, so it's a little bit on the windy side right now, but I've got the new settings loaded in the car where I scaled the methanol table back to a total of 35%. So even at the highest boost, it's only going to run the 4 injectors at 35%, which should give me around that 300 pound per hour mark, I think. So no better time than the present. Let's check it out. hopefully you heard all that stuff I was saying just now on the way in, but that is a night and day difference turning the methanol down on there. Now that's only 8 pounds of boost or so. I got to pull the log out of it and look, but I think we're on the right track. Okay, so we are safely back in the United States. We avoided the cartel and the Mexican authorities, and I'm here to tell you that that was something I should have done a long time ago. Not avoiding the Mexican authorities, but changing the methanol scaling on the staged injection table. So I tried 18 pounds of boost that you saw earlier in the video, and I was thinking it might kind of hook up a little bit. Wrong. Not a good idea. So then turn the boost controller off, unplug the hose just to make double, triple sure that there's no pressure on the top of the wastegate and everything works correctly. And I was able to run it to redline and see everything work like it should have. I'm going to turn the camera and show you the screen for the laptop. I don't have any screen recording on the laptop, but I'll show you what it looks like so you can get an idea. And it's finally working. Check it out. Okay, so I don't know how much this you'll be able to see real good here, but where the line is in the middle of the screen, you're looking at, let's see if you can see that cursor moving around there. Maybe that'll work. So that's where I shifted at. And this part of the line is where the throttle goes 100%, and the white line being the RPM. So you get a little bit of converter flash right there, if you will. But the important thing that I wanted to note was this line right here in this area. Hopefully you can see that. The air fuel goes all the way down to 10.14 to 1 on the shift, mainly because it suffers when it shifts with so little power. The converter's tight and it drags it down in the fuel map and blah blah blah. Point to note is that when the engine recovers, the air fuel stabilizes, but the even better part is it's going rich up here in the top of high gear. And I say top, it's got a long ways to go, but to the top of where I ran it. The even more cool part is looking down here, this yellow and green line. Green line is the duty cycle for the methanol. Yellow line is the duty cycle for the primary injectors. Methanol seeing only 4% methanol at red line and 27% duty cycle on the primary injectors in the same spot. And the telltale sign here is that right here at this point, the manifold air temp is 101 degrees, and right near the end of the run it is 80.75 degrees. Okay, so we got a lot of information in a short amount of time. The video is probably going to end up being pretty short by the time I cut all the jazz out of it. It was a long drive to Mexico, but it worked out. We learned a lot, and luckily, with some good suggestions from some viewers, some close friends, and constantly staring at the logs, I come to the conclusion that I needed to scale the methanol way back. What are the future plans for the methanol? I think I'm going to take it out one more time and run it with the new changes. And if I get good results, then I will probably stick with it. If I get average results, I might put smaller injectors in it to get better atomization, but yet the same amount of fuel because I have these cut so far back. So that's the plans. We're going to keep moving. Looks like we got some good data to work off of, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, so that is the end of the video. I'm worn out. That was a long drive to Mexico and back. But we learned some really valuable information in regards to scaling the methanol back and the amount of methanol it takes to make this thing happy, and so on and so forth. So I really hope we get to go to the track this coming weekend, today being Wednesday. But it looks like the weather's going to kind of get crappy on us, so we'll have to just keep an eye on it and play it by ear. Having said all that, that is the end of the video, guys. Thank you very much for stopping by and checking it out. Making some serious progress. That's a good thing. Yeah, give it a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, comment, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.